I think it's a certain amount of pride, not only in the today, but in the past of what was established, and we've been able to continue it.
I think I'm proud to say that we've been here 50 years, and 51 years, yeah. And so the customers have been really good to us.
Every day is different. Every day has got some new challenges. It's fantastic.
The history of the Biermans really dates back to 1896 when my father, A.W. or Arthur W. Bierman, he and two other brothers, my Uncle John, my Uncle Charlie, formed a store down by the present post office building, and it was a harness shop and a hardware store. And then they, shortly thereafter, they got into pianos. And then, as time went on, the harnesses and the hardware went, and my father bought his brothers out and got into the furniture business.
I guess the bakery's been here about almost 100 years, and so I've been here 51 years. So, and I was 19 when I bought part interest here. The guy I worked for helped me get started in this bakery, and so then after that, I've been running it ever since.
It was back in 1947. My dad had been with the J.C. Penney Company for a long time. I guess I'd spent most of my life watching him as a penny manager. And he decided that he was going to be on his own, and so he came down here, and he and my mother bought this store. It was in existence. It was known as a federated store then. It was a franchise. He bought it and thought highly of Northfield.
It seemed like a good opportunity, and I was wanting to get into business for myself. And this looked like a pretty good spot to be.
And then before World War II, he bought this present building from a Foss family in Faribault and remodeled it, and then built the west addition on for a funeral home.
He had at one time managed the penny store in Waseca. I'd lived there and watched him, but by the time he got ready for this assignment, I was off and married, and I didn't pay a lot of attention, except I worshiped the man and was always interested in retailing. And he came here, and the town grew on him.
I really didn't start until after World War II. And then became involved in the actual operation of the business.
Along the way, I guess, Raleigh, my son, who would visit Grandpa once or twice a year, became fascinated with it, and so when Grandpa and Grandma died, he said, I'd like to have Grandpa's store. I'd spend the rest of my life in Grandpa's store if you can hang on to it until I'm ready. Well, he was a freshman in high school at the time. And I could probably cry for you if I went on and told you much more about that, but that's how we got here.
From about the time I was in 4th grade or so, I was always enthralled by coming and visiting my grandfather and grandmother in Northfield and seeing a store and being able to come down and get in the way of the help and have them tolerate me. And it was just always a fun thing to do. And I knew that when grandfather passed away, that if there was any way that the store could be kept going, that it would be something that I could and would enjoy doing and working at.
Well, it's kind of nice to have, to see that there's interest in the family that would continue to operate the bakery. since I'm not going to be doing it too many more years, and so it's nice to see it continue.
Being part of the Quality Bakery is very important. Growing up in the bakery, learning the trade from my father, and learning things from my mother when she worked here. I'm very proud to continue what they have started and continue to learn from Dad the trade of the business.
About 4 years ago, I started working here, and in the last year that we purchased the bakery, it's been a good experience growing into that, starting by waiting on customers and packaging things, and now Ed is teaching me how to do cakes, and love that.
None of them were pushed into this business. In fact, all the family that are in this business asked to come in.
I can look back with pride at what my grandfather started, my father continued, and now what I'm doing, it gives me an opportunity to make a mark on it. So the historical tradition of the business is very important to me.
And I'm proud to be in a family-run business that has been in a community where there is a love for the community, a love for what we're doing.
To have family-owned businesses, it sort of sets Northfield apart. It gives Northfield a unique historical tradition in that sense, and it's sort of as a stable and continuous and solid, close-knit community.
I think it adds to Northfield's downtown retail character to have businesses that have been around for a period of time. The Biermans of the world, the Mahotchiks, the Klinkhammers. It provides a continuity for folks that have been here, gone away, come back, and want to look and see, well, not all of Northfield has changed.
It gives a community a sense of stability, I think. People know that these places are here, they depend on them, they come to know the people that own them, and there's a lot of talk that goes on in these businesses. It's not just going in and buying something, putting down your money or your credit card, and leaving.
It sort of proves that Northfielders are loyal to the families and the businesses in the community.
We do a lot of talking here with people. People come here to gather and to chit-chat and have coffee hour, and I know that they do in the other stores as well. And there's a sense of community in that, and knowing that it's going to be here, knowing that it has been here, it's not going to go anywhere. And I think the stability is real good for a community to have places like this.
It's a sense of community, a sense of closeness, a sense of being known instead of just feeling like a number.
It also means to the customers who buy either merchandise or service that there's a certain guarantee that we're here, we were here yesterday, we're here today, and by all good consideration we'll be here for many tomorrows.
Well, there's a big change going on. It goes from family farms to family businesses to anything, but I think there's still room for a lot of small places, because I think there'll always be room for that. You know, the individual style.
I don't think that it's the type of thing that you'd go into to be your driving force to be making money. And our business has certainly treated a couple of families very well and kept shelter and food on the table. But I'm sure that there are better ways that I could take my money and invest it and maybe have a better return on it. But it might not have the quality of life, if you will, that I think that it provides to us.
It takes a great deal of teamwork and effort, day in and day out, to make the business go. So that's true with any business, but the fact that it's a family business and that it's a business that I grew up with, it was always central to the family. And so now to be centered in that business and to see the family still all supporting it, it's just very satisfying for me personally.
It's fun to know all the people that come in and to learn about the people. We have people who just moved to town, and it's fun to be able to welcome them to Northfield and to the Quality Bakery. And with that, you start to learn about people.
I try to at times tell people that it's like an old radio show that I used to hear that was Grand Central Station. Through here, million private lives get here, and they begin to. And I find out what kind of socks they like to wear, or I find out that they can't find a shirt that fits, or that they all of a sudden ripped a pair of trousers and need to come in and see Jacobsen's. It's a fun challenge in life, and you feel like you're helping.
Sue, we last interviewed you 5 years ago to talk about 50 years on Division Street. I'm just wondering how things are going now for you.
Things are going great at the Quality Bakery. We've been here since 1949. We're celebrating our 56th year. We are happy to be here. We're doing great. We're happy to serve the people, and we plan to be here as long as we can.
Since we last talked, there's been a big change in this block on Division Street. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, what that means to you and what you think that means to the community.
With Jacobsen's closing, it left a hole on the street. We've been across the street from each other for many, many, many years, and we feel the loss. We feel the loss of camaraderie that we enjoyed so much, the shenanigans we would pull on each other, the customers that we'd send back and forth to pull something on Bob or Raleigh or Shar, and vice versa. The town misses them too. They've left a hole in what they offered, and it's a part of history that is sad to see go.
We sure have had a good time. We at the bakery feel that we're across the street, we're losing part of the family. We've known you guys forever. We love you deeply. And we wish you the best and God's blessings in your future endeavors. And we have one question. If you'll all please look over at the tree, you see all of the hanging long johns. Those we purchased from Jacobsen's. So our question to the Jacobsens are, we have a pair of long johns. And which would you like to serve on your table? We love you guys. Congratulations and best wishes.
When Jacobsen closed, it was a real tug at everyone's heartstrings. I think that those of us that have grown up with that store and being part of our practically daily life miss it terribly. I would say that those kind of decisions are normally personal decisions of the business owners and their families. It may not be near as much a business decision as just a personal lifestyle decision.
We ran out of Jacobsen grandsons to do the floor sweeping, and so that's really why the store's being closed. Now, with all that, let's think about the things that we can be reminiscent cheering about, thinking about, talking about, laughing about, smiling about. Let's keep doing that. And you know, I think Northfield will be different. Well, different because every year it gets to be better and better. I thank you. I thank you much.
Thank you, Bob. Oh, you got about.
What is the value to a community to have businesses such as yours, Bierman's, Harmon's, other businesses that have been around for 50 or more years?
The value is that we offer a service that they may not find elsewhere. People who call up and they call the Quality Bakery and they say, I broke my leg, I can't get out of the car. If I order this, can you tell me the total? I'll hand you a check and can you bring it out for me? And certainly we do things like that. I think knowing the people, after all these years, you become friends with them. They come in and tell you how their life is, or if something happens on a happy note or a sad note, they're wanting to share it with us. I think the value of businesses around for so long are the service and the friendships that they build.